Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the Ingrove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm doing the new arrival video for April 28th, 2023, the week after Record Store Day. It has been complete madness. Record Store Day and the day after were the two busiest days we've ever had, so we're a little bit behind shipping for Record Store Day. We'll have everything out to you guys no later than tomorrow, Friday. Bear with us. It's a busy week for all record stores. A couple of pre-orders to tell you guys about, and then I got a bunch of great restocks to show you. The first pre-order is Roger Waters' The Lockdown Sessions. It's essentially the stuff he did during COVID lockdown. That's coming out June 2nd. I think it's been released on streaming, but this is the official vinyl release, right? Two pretty cool Blue Note classics. The first one is Robert Glasper, In My Element. That's June 16th. And then Mad Lib, Shades of Blue. That's June 16th as well. That's going to be, the Mad Lib will be quite popular. But yeah, let me show you what we got this week. It's a surprisingly good amount of stuff considering that, you know, the week after Record Store Day, I didn't think they would have a bunch of stuff. But there was a decent chunk, but the restocks are the way to go. Late for Record Store Day, we did finally get our lost package, which contained the 1975 cassette tape and the Bob Marley, Mr. Chatterbox 7-inch single. Both were supposed to be released for Record Store Day. We still got some Record Store Day stuff, some Record Store Day stuff available, but we do have those two available because they came late. It was one of those deals. I think UPS sent the box around the country, kind of like, scenic journey type of thing. Happens with FedEx, UPS, the post office from time to time. Things just get routed funny. Okay, let me show you guys what is new. This is actually a repress of an older item that was once upon a time a $200-300 record, but this is the Analogue Productions Relaxing with the Miles Davis Quintet. An essential jazz record. You must own this if you are a jazz aficionado. I mean, I think. But this is a killer version of it. They're redoing pretty much all 25 mono and stereo Prestige Series titles. These next two, Cookin' and Relaxin', we're kind of late to the party getting a repress. Probably because they had to make so many of them to keep up with demand. They are extremely popular titles. But yeah, finally got a restock, a restock. I guess it's a restock if you're considering it's been 5 years since I've had it. But finally got a stock of that. Also, John Coltrane's Standard Coltrane, also part of the Prestige series. So glad they put them back in print. People didn't pay attention the first time around. They went out of print. They shot up in value to what? $300 a piece, $400 a piece for some of the titles. But it seems like people aren't making that mistake this time. They are moving really well this time around. New this week, part of the Verve series, Wynton Kelly's Smokin' at the Half Note. Killer album. Wynton Kelly, Wes Montgomery. Great record. This is Tip-On Jacket, Analog cut, probably by Ryan Smith. I haven't opened one of these yet, but he's been doing a lot of these Analog Verve titles. Here is an absolute audiophile must-have. The version of Timeout on this is killer. This is Jazz at the Pawn Shop. This has been an audio record since it came out in the 70s. It sounds absolutely killer. 2X HD, I think, put this out. All analog, cut by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grunman Mastering. So, yeah, this should be really good. The version of Timeout, like I said on this, is just so good, so fun. Sounds killer. Crime Pays, Willie Colon. All analog mastering from the original tapes by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. Real nice. Tip-On Jacket, it's a gatefold. His biggest hits. So this is like a comp. 50th anniversary reissue of the first anthology ever released by Fania Records. New to my top 100 in-print analog records you should own list. That is the current version, the 20th anniversary of Norah Jones' Come Away With Me. Kevin Gray did the last one. That's phenomenal. This is also phenomenal. It's in my sound room. It's a demo record. It really does sound absolutely fantastic. One of those rare albums from the 2000s that was actually recorded analog. I'm glad it was. But you kind of almost have to work pretty hard to screw this record up. It was recorded so well that it would be, like I said, it would be hard not to do a good job with that record. But they did. It sounds fantastic. It is a great demo, must-own record, sonically and musically. Reissue of the Rolling Stones, Between the Buttons, stereo black vinyl. They're getting around to reissuing all of these. I want to say they originally were on clear vinyl when Apco did them, but they're putting them on black vinyl now. Joseph the Sun, new album, original Sun vinyl. We've got Chet Baker. Chet Baker's Chet on Riverside. This is the stereo version. I think it came late last week. I don't think I had it in time to show you guys for the new arrival video. They did the mono for Record Store Day. This is the stereo. I think this is Chet Baker's best album. You know, this is a must-own. Kenny Wheeler. Jack DeJohnette's on this as well. This is the new ECMs that they're redoing. I think this is the first one that we've gotten so far. I think they're all analog. It's kind of like a reboot of the ECM label doing reissues. NoFX, double album. This next one is really good. This is from P-Vine. This is Lightning Hopkins. This is a Japanese copy of Sings a Collection of American Folklore, so Singing the Blues. But they went and did the full Japanese treatment on this. It's a nice thick tip-on jacket. If you look, it's like just like it would have been. It's a real nice, glossy, laminate slick. An album that's impossible to find an original of. And if you do find them, trashed. Always trashed. The Harold Lightning Hopkins stuff, trashed. But yeah, this looks really good. I'm looking forward to giving this a listen to, hearing what it sounds like. Every Man Ought to Know, Max Romeo. This looks pretty good. We've got Epica, Design Your Universe on black vinyl. This is The Host 9. Strictly limited edition, ocean blue black marble vinyl, limited to 700. Let's see, the 1974 album. Let's see. Boo and the True Tones, Show the World. This looks quite good. This is the album that put them on the international stage. A soulful offering from the island of St. Lucia. Man, it looks really good. Look at that cover, man. That cover is just, this is a funky album. We've got Michael Orr and the Book of Life. Love Will Rise. Michael Orr, wasn't he on the Ravens? Did a movie about him? Maybe that was a different Michael Orr. What's the Catch? First time vinyl reissue on P-Vine. Now, the next few things I'm going to show you are actually, we got some killer restocks in here. We got a big Analog Productions restock, titles that I haven't had in forever, titles that hadn't been around in a while. But I also got a couple of Blue Note reissues, restocks. Gretchen Monclure, this is the Blue Note Classic of Evolution, all analog, cut by Kevin Gray. One of the more recent titles, but had a difficult time keeping this one in stock. One of the greatest Blue Note albums of all time, Horace Silver's Song from My Father. Finally got a repress. This might be the third repress. It's been an album that it's done well. From my 100 in-print analog records you should own list, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, Indestructible. And we got a repress of Wayne Shorter's Speak No Evil, also a Blue Note classic, all analog cut. Oh, here's another random new one. Choice Cuts. Man, he's like drenched in SpaghettiOs. 2 LP set of Carcass's Choice Cuts. Another restock from the Verve series, all analog. Louis Armstrong meets Oscar Peterson. I want to say Ryan Smith did this one. Maybe there's Bill Evans as well. Bill Evans Trio 64. Great record. Really dig Bill Evans' Verve stuff. One of my favorite titles they've done so far. Blues in the Abstract Truth. Oliver Nelson, Paul Chambers, Bill Evans, Eric Dolphy, Roy Haynes, Freddie Hubbard. Great album. Meet you at the jazz corner of the world. This is also a Blue Note Classic series, all analog. Great record. This is volume 1. They did volume 2. I might still have that in stock, though. Harold Land and Bobby Hutcherson. One of the newer Blue Note Classic series titles. Let me show you guys the Analogue Productions restocks. Then I'll show you guys the gold member records. Great killer titles in here. The Prestige series stuff, all must-owns. The Elmo Hope Sextet, Informal Jazz. I mean, Donald Byrd's on this, Paul Chambers, Hank Mobley, Coltrane. This is a killer record. Got an original of this over the summer. Real nice copy, too. Still own this. This is the better sounding copy. This sounds better than the original. The original is iconic. It's just, you know, it's a sight to behold, to have in your hand. They don't sound as good as this. And I've got most of these as originals. The Royal Ballet, an original of this, what, $5 grand? This is the one you want. And get it now. Don't wait till Christmas. It has the Nutcracker on it, and this like sells out, it seems, every year before Christmas. It never makes it through the holiday season. Great record. Swan Lake, the Nutcracker, Sleeping Beauty. From the Prestige series, Eric Dolphy's Far Cry with Booker Little. I think I got a lot of the Eric Dolphy, if not all the Eric Dolphy restocks. Outward Bound, Eric Dolphy, featuring Freddie Hubbard. That says New Jazz. It was originally a New Jazz, which was a sub-label of Prestige. This is one of the more recent Analogue Productions releases. This is Lady in Satin, Billie Holiday. This uses the original Classic Records Bernie Grundman cut metalwork at 45 RPM. Ooh, The Doors, my favorite band. And this is the self-titled from Analogue Productions. Significantly better than the ERC mono, and it costs 10 times less money. Crazy. Crazy how that works. So yeah, this would be the one you want over that. From the Prestige series, Lightning Hopkins. Lightning. Kevin Gray, I want to say, did most of these Prestige titles. I think he did all of them. All right, Julie Is Her Name, Volume 2. We've got Heifetz, another RCA Living stereo title. Probably one of the only records on Capitol that when it comes into the store, I wouldn't throw it in the dumpster. Classical record, that is. That is Nathan Milstein's Masterpieces. Capitol was not and is not known as a classical label. There's not a lot of, if any, but a couple desirable classical titles on Capitol. But they did have a couple of Nathan Milsteins that are highly sought after. Jeff Beck, 45 RPM of Wired. Joan Baez, Diamonds and Rust in the Bull Ring. This is a live recording in Spain. Polycole Trio, Don't Smoke in Bed. Shelby Lynn, Just a Little Lovin'. Actually, this is kind of funny. This is by accident, but they're right next to each other. Dusty and Memphis. This is, by the way, on my top 100 imprint analog records you should own list, and the best you're ever going to hear this album. This is actually a tribute to this album, as you can see by the cover. Herbie Hancock, Headhunters. This is the 33 RPM version. Has the hit version of Watermelon Man on it, the second time he recorded it. It was also on his first album. I wish they would do more 70s era Herbie Hancock, because it was fantastic. 70s for Herbie he was putting out some killer records. Willie Nelson, Stardust. This is the 45 RPM version. Eric Dolphy's Out There. And for the time that this was released, this record kind of was out there. Now, not quite Archie Shepp in the 70s out there. But yeah, this is a good record. I really dig this Dolphy record. Taj Mahal's Labor of Love. Sarah McLachlan, Afterglow. I've got the Wonderful Sounds of Quality Records pressing. This is a record that I find myself listening to more and more and more. It's a Great record. It was the original Thorn sampler. Before they announced this, that Thorn sampler was like $600-800. Almost everything on this is an actual analog. It's analog. There's a couple, I think it's a couple of the reference recordings, maybe the Susan Shedesky track was digital, but the rest of this was cut from tape. Not common when it comes to compilations. I use this in the store all the time. It's a killer sampler. Every track is a winner on here. I think of it really not even as a sampler. This is really like 6 mini records. You got a female vocal record, you got a classical record, a blues record, a rhythm and blues record, and 2 jazz records. Hugh Masekela, they're doing Part of Hope on this. I mean, this is a dynamite record. It really, highly recommend this. The theme from Shaft, and the Staple Sisters doing I'll Take You There, worth the price of the record. Willie's Blues, Willie Dixon. I was actually playing this in the store maybe a week and a half ago. Somebody came up to me and they're like, "Who is this?" I'm like, "Willie Dixon." I'm like, he does great covers, man. This is. I'm like, these aren't covers. These are his songs. The other ones are covers. But yeah, good record. Part of the Prestige 50. Johnny Hodges and Billy Strayhorn, excuse me. Henrik Streisand in Recital. That's probably not the worst I've ever butchered somebody's name, but you know, it might be up there. RCA Living Stereo title, one you almost never see an original of, and here's one you actually see quite frequently. Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. This is the title I start people with. If you're looking for a classical, you're looking for audiophile, you're familiar with a lot of the tunes on this record, this is a good start. From my top 100 imprint analog records you should own list, Son House's father of the folk blues. This is the 45 RPM version. They do a 33 as well, but the 45 is the better sounding of the two. Leonard Skinner, Give Me Back My Bullets, 45 RPM. Nat King Cole, just one of those things. I'm pretty sure this is out of print. But we're just moving through some of the available stock. I don't think that's going to get repressed. One of my top 5 reference discs. Every time I change a piece of gear in my system, this is maybe the first record that goes on. It is the best sounding version of this record you can get. It is absolutely fantastic musically, but also spatially. It's amazing the way they just lay out on the soundstage, and that's what I use this record for. Soundstage imaging. Fantastic record. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, Texas Flood. Really fun record. Duke Ellington, In Orbit. Harry Belafonte at Carnegie Hall. Just passed maybe 2 days ago, I think I got the blurb on my phone. Haven't really heard anything about it since, but iconic, classic audiophile record has been for decades. Breaking Silence, Janis Ian. The Stevie Ray Vaughan title. This is In Step, 33 RPM. They did most of these 33 and 45, so that's kind of why I'm telling you again what it is. Another great starter classical title. Pictures at an Exhibition. This is the 45 RPM version. This is a woofer wower. This will really get you going. That'll stretch out your cones. That's a good break-in record to get your stereo boogie on. That's really good. Another one of my favorite, Witch's Brew. It actually has Pictures at Exhibition on it. Original of this, maybe $600, $800. Pricey, really hard to find RCA Living Stereo, and a really fun record. Played in the store actually quite a bit. Some more Eric Dolphy from the Prestige series. At the 5 spot. Again, all fantastic. Highly recommend all of them. So I'm in Chicago at Expo on a hi-fi show. Guy's like, put a record on, guys. And he's, they're demoing their system, showing you how good it is. He starts off by, I'm gonna put this old record on. It was recorded like in the 50s. And he was pretty much like My stereo is so great. The design of this is so fantastic. I'm going to play this old record. It was recorded in the 50s. But listen to how good even this sounds on this system. What? He's talking like they didn't make good records in the 50s. He puts this on, and I kind of chuckled because it's like this is notoriously known for being an amazing sounding record. But the way he was pitching it was like, you know, even way back in the 50s when nobody knew how to record, even that kind of crummy record sounds great on this. But I won't name drop the dealer, but yeah, that was the record. Ironically enough, I don't think a lot of those guys doing those demos watch my videos because they play the most lame crap ever. Music that nobody's ever going to listen to. It's only for hi-fi shows. There's so many great sounding killer records of music people actually want to listen to that nobody there plays. Go figure. It's painful. The hi-fi shows haven't changed over the decades. Always the same mediocre music. Patsy Cline's Greatest Hits. This is the 45 RPM version. Great sounding record. Faust, another great record. $1,000 if you find an original. Second most expensive, I think, RCA Living stereo record out there. Again, this is another title that just... This is probably one of the best of the RCA Living stereos. If you're going to grade, RCA Living stereo, by today's standards, is a vintage audiophile label. They were recorded fantastically. They sound, for the most part, really good. This is even in the upper echelon of the label. Really fantastic. Actually, as so is this. Shahrazad. Got a reel-to-reel of this, and I got to tell you, this 45 sounds really close to the reel-to-reel. Another title that just will stretch your system out. Really, really good musically and sonically. Julie London sings Latin in Satin, 33 RPM. And we've got the Rycooters Meeting at the River. This is a Water Lily record. Great sounding record. Freddie King's Getting Ready, 33 RPM. Amos Lee's Self-Titled. And that is it for the Analogue Productions news stock and restock. Let me show you guys what is going out this week on the Gold Member page. The Gold Member, $15 a month. You get 10% off of all of your in-stock records on the website only, theingroove.com. But as an addition, not the main reason, but as an addition, we have a curated selection of pre-owned records. I've been pretty much showing you guys every week what I'm going to put out, and I'm going to show you this week's stuff. They all drop on the website at 11 o'clock Arizona time. 11 o'clock Arizona time, everything for the week goes up all at once. I'll start you off with Art Pepper's Modern Art on intro. One of his most collectible, highest dollar records. You're going to find clean copies of this for like $3 grand. Very, very difficult to find. This isn't the cleanest copy in the world, but it's here. It doesn't skip, and it is rare, rare, rare. From the George Benson collection, Miles. This is an original first pressing for 46 West 50th Street with the green cover. Again, not the best condition, but rare, and it was George's. White label promo of Eagles on the Border. Actually, a lot of the titles I'm going to show you tonight are promos. Prince, Sign of the Times. This is a gold stamp promo. Came out of that Tucson collection. Camper Van Beethoven, Key Lime Pie. Stone Mint record. Men at Work Cargo. This is in shrink with the hype sticker with the Tower price tag. Just a really, really, really cherry copy. Another promo, Prince, Around the World in 80 Days. Pop Life, one of my favorite Prince songs on this record. Pop Life and America, those are killer, great record. Outcast, also from George Benson's collection. I think it was actually in the same box as that Miles Davis, which is bizarre, right? But Outcast, this is a comp. Big Boy and Dre present. Maybe 20 years ago, when did this come out? 2001, 2002, in that range. One of the most cherry copies of Getz Gilbardo I've ever seen. This is an original first pressing stereo. Super clean. It's got a little paper scuffing on it, but there's not a pop, not a tick. Plays with the minimal amount of surface noise, which is what you would have gotten on this record, even brand new. It doesn't play audiophile quiet by 2023 standards, but man, really, really clean. This record is always whipped when it comes into the store. They were played to death. Really nice copy. Foreigner, Agent Provocateur in the Shrink. Here is a Japanese pressing of Jimi Hendrix Electric Ladyland, where they actually took the back cover and made it the front cover. But it is a white label promo. Very difficult to find for Japanese pressings. But I got a little collection that had about 10 of them. Here's another one. Kisses Double Platinum, white label promo, Japanese pressing. The Pet Shop Boys, 12-inch of West End Girls, UK, 12-inch. Gabor Szabo, Gypsy 66. Really clean record on that one. Sealed copy of Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. Wish they'd bring this one back. Sounds fantastic. All the Bob Dylan MoFi stuff sounds fantastic. King Crimson in the Court of the Crimson King. Solomon Burke, Back to My Roots on Chess. Dexter Gordon's Go. This is a 70s pressing, late 70s Blue Bee pressing. Got an original first pressing of the Dream Syndicate, The Days of Wine and Roses. This is first pressing on a Ruby. Bobby Hutcherson, The View from the Inside on Blue Note. Tyrone Washington, Natural Essence. I'm pretty sure this is a first pressing Liberty. This is a test pressing of Van Morrison's last album. They only made 50 of them. Triple disc set. This is Latest Record Project Volume 1 is the name. This was kind of his COVID record. Triple disc test pressing. Unplayed. The Grateful Dead, the best of the Grateful Dead. Here's a record you don't see very often. This is Prince, Purple Rain. Now you see Purple Rain often, but you don't see a lot of the promo copies. The promo copies, not only are they hype sticker on the cover, gold embossed promo, but they were on purple wax. Becoming really difficult to find that record. Nice. This came number 2 on my shootout under the Nimbus Supercut. That is Supertramp's Breakfast in America by Mobile Fidelity, which is now out of print. Here's a Bill Evans twofer. Bill Evans album and Living Time. 2 albums. And I've got 4 box sets to show you guys. The first one is The Traveling Wilburys. Long out of print. Also out of print. Tom Waits Orphans. This is Brawlers, Ballers, and Bastards. Plus, I think there's a bonus disc in there as well. Nick Drake's Fruit Tree. Includes the 3 albums, a book, and I think a documentary on DVD. Yep. Little miniature CD size book. And a Wagner. Das Ringgold. This is a super analog audiophile label, defunct now, but they did a lot of great classical recordings. Probably back in the 90s, maybe even into the 80s. But they did a lot of the stuff in the Decca catalog, you know, the desirable Decca stuff. All right, guys, check us out online at the website at theingroove.com. Until next time.